These are 5 things that I wish my younger self knew about credit cards. So if you're interested in knowing what those 5 things are, please stay tuned. Hi guys, welcome or welcome back to my channel. I hope that everything is okay with you and that life is going great. And if it's not, just know that everything will be better soon. So hang in there. So these are 5 things that I wish my younger self knew before getting into credit cards. So I'm guilty of using credit cards, so I kind of know, what I should and should not do at this point in my life. Now, when I was 19, getting my first credit card, not so much. I didn't pay attention to many things. So these are 5 things that I wish I knew. This doesn't mean by any chance that you should take my advice, but I hope it helps or open your eyes to things that you may be overlooking. And just so you know, if I look to the sides, because I have a notebook with notes, so please don't mind me. So let's dive into the list so that way we can know what I could tell my 19-year-old self. Number 1, do not fall for the 0% introductory APRs. Those are hooks that financial institutions have in order to get the audience or get their clients into applying for credit cards. So the 0% means that they will give you 6, 12, 18 months with an introductory APR of 0% on, let's say, purchases. So if you still have a balance on your credit card by the time that introductory period runs out, what you will see is that on that next bill or the bill after, I'm not sure which one it is, you will see that your balance went up. And what that means is that the deferred interest that you've been accumulating for the past 6, 12, 18 months has been added to your balance. Now, you have to take care of the balance plus that interest. So just be mindful whenever you see a 0% whatever. Just make sure that you read the terms and conditions on that card, because I don't want you to have any sort of surprises whenever that introductory period ends. Number 2, do not get a card that has an annual fee. Yes, you might have to get a card with an annual fee, but just make sure that you know that you're getting into a card that has an annual fee, because when that charge comes around, you probably are not going to remember that card had an annual fee. What I would recommend, instead of you getting a card with an annual fee, what I would recommend you do is just go to your bank or credit union and get a secure card. That means that you will have to put the money up front that you want as your line of credit on that credit card. And what the financial institution will do is to either put it on a savings account or a certificate deposit, lock it, freeze it, whatever you want to call it, and then issue you a card with that same line of credit. Now, I know that some other financial institutions might just ask you for a percentage of whatever you want as your line of credit. So let's say if you want a line of credit of $500, they might just ask you to put up front just 50% of that credit line. So that would be like you will have to lock away $250, if that makes any sense. So instead of you getting a card with an annual fee, just look into maybe a secure card, so that way you can, ease into the whole process of having a credit card. Number 3, do not max out your credit card. I will repeat that. Do not max out your credit card. You maxing out your credit card pretty much will reflect negatively on your credit. in most instances, if not all. So don't go spending all that money and then you wonder why your credit is not going up. It's probably because you are having a high balance on that credit card. As a rule, you shouldn't carry more than 30% of your total line of credit as a balance. So if you have a card for $1,000, you shouldn't have a balance or carry a balance of over $300. Does that make any sense? If it doesn't, let me know and I can clarify it down below. Number 4, do not get a credit card to buy things that will make you look cool in front of your peers. That means don't get a credit card to get the latest phone or a crazy expensive bag because your peers have those things and you want to fit in. Do not let the peer pressure get to you. Be smart, and if you need a credit card, just pretty much have it for emergencies only. And by emergency, I mean you having to buy a last minute plane ticket to visit a family member that is sick, or to, I don't know, whatever that emergency is. Just make sure that it's not an emergency that is the result of you wanting to buy a phone because you want to fit in. Don't do that. Number 5, make your payments on time, because that way you are not getting charged any late fees or penalty interest. If you miss your payments, you will see those fees, and on top of that, you could also get negative reports on your credit. So what's the whole point of getting a credit card? To build your credit or to improve your credit when you are actually not really taking care of what you need to take care of, which is to make sure that you make your payments on time in order to avoid those crazy late charges and also to avoid those penalty APRs. Financial institution will bring your rate up because you've been paying late. So they will penalize you for, let's say, 3 months with this higher interest, and then you will be paying more in interest for that period. Does that make any sense? So try not to miss payments so that way you do not get any late charges or negative recordings on your credit or penalty interest. And as a bonus, I have 2 other things that I wish I could tell my 19-year-old self in regards to credit cards. The first bonus thing is do not do cash advance on your credit cards. Come on, you should have something in a savings account for emergency purposes. Do not get money from that credit card. Don't withdraw cash from that credit card, because usually that APR, that rate that you get charged for cash advances, is higher than that of purchases. So don't fall in that trap. Stay away from cash advances. And last bonus, which is number 2, is do not apply for every credit card that you get offered. That means Victoria's Secret, that means Macy's, that means all of those store cards that you get offered every time that you step in a store, and they're like, hey, do you want to save 15% by applying to our credit card? Don't say yes to that, because whenever you're saying yes to that and they're reviewing your credit, your points will be coming down. So if you're trying to build your credit, it serves no purpose in you doing applications after applications for credit cards. So stay away from that and just make sure that you are managing your credit card in a smart way. Well, I hope that you find these tips helpful, and I sure wish that I could go back in time and talk to my 19-year-old self and say, you know, watch out, girl, because you might get in trouble by just applying, getting credit cards, buying things that you don't need. Yes, I wish I could have done better, but I've learned my lesson and I am paying for those lessons too. But at least now I am a little bit more mindful of everything, and I'm just working on being a better person. So thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you on my next video. Please like this video if you did, and please subscribe to my channel in order to see what I come up with in the near future. Thank you so much again for stopping by, and I'll see you next time. Bye.
These are 5 tips. These are 5 things that I wish I had told my 19-year-old